Hello and welcome to Berlin, where we're going to be driving through the centre of Berlin in some fairly heavy traffic in a MAN DL05 in fact. So let's just have a quick look outside at this bus. It's considerably bigger than the previous buses that we've driven in this series, and it's tri-axle. It's two axles at the back, but the principles are much the same. As we corner, the bus will tend to pivot around this area here, and we can gauge that as we look in our near side and offside mirrors. We've got 3 doors rather than 2, and clearly we're driving on the right hand side of the road rather than the left hand side of the road, as we're in Germany. Let me just pause the game there so we don't run too late, and you can probably hear me a little clearer now. So we're driving on the right hand side of the road obviously rather than the left, and that means some things are the other way round. But if we use the terms near side and offside, then many things are the same. So for example, you could say when you pull out into traffic, you look in your offside mirror, and that would be the same whether you're driving on the left or right hand side of the road. Okay, let's get back inside and resume the drive and see how we go. No more passengers to board. They're waiting for a different service. So all I have to do is release the station brake, mirror and signal, and we should be underway. There aren't actually a great many turns on this run. We're on the M29, so we're just going to cover the brakes there. So looking in my offside mirror, I'm just easing down for this truck on the... going to give a signal there to move out slightly. I want to keep well clear of that truck as I come into this stop, and positioning for the boarding passengers. Should do.
Hallo. Hallo.
Mahlzeit.
Hello, hello.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. It's quite a busy service this. So releasing the station brake, also checking that the centre doors and rear doors are closed with a near side mirror check as well. One car coming. Just going to hold back there to see what the car's doing and what this bus is doing. It's going to wait behind us. Lights are turning. Now looking right across the junction, I can see a problem. So we're going to move across the lane with a signal, but cancel that signal because we're not turning. And moving back into our bus lane again. Looking far ahead, I can see a red light, so there's no hurry at this point. Watching that car's not going to come across. There's diagonal crossing areas on this run that you'll start to pick up. They are painted on the road, and cars will move across. Just holding back till that blue van moves away, because it's blocked my visibility of pedestrians on the left, and I don't want somebody crossing in front of me that I can't see. Okay, offside mirror check for this crossing coming up. Okay, it's a good example of not having my attention correctly arranged.
Hello.
Guten Tag.
And I'm going to leave that mistake in. Hey, we're all human. And I'll leave that mistake in. Oh, we're off to a flying start here. Let him come across. Okay, the light's changing in front of me.
Platz.
So you can see it's quite a challenging environment, Berlin X10, and there's certainly a great many routes to choose from. One of the tricks, as we've just found out, is to have your attention on the correct thing at the correct time. Okay, happy with that. Olivia Platt's next stop. Two parked vehicles on the right and a red light beyond that. You can see on my display here an H has appeared, which indicates that the passenger has requested to alight at the next stop. When I apply the station brake, the doors will automatically open where the bell has been pressed. In terms of alignment, I use this Q here to align with the curb.
Einmal normal bitte.
Okay. Somebody wants a ticket and some change.
Hallo.
Hello.
Kurzstreckenticket.
Okay. See, quite a busy service. We have a look at inside the bus. Quite a fair number of passengers on board. And it's time to roll. Let's watch that orange van. No other traffic to be too concerned about. Other than the white parked car, so looking carefully in my mirror to get into this lane. So OMSI does encourage
Bahnhof Adenauerplatz.
looking ahead for hazards. Lights are green, but could turn, and indeed they have. And we've got a stop beyond the parked car there. So something I'm trying to do more of, both in my OMSI driving and real driving on the road, is every now and then to look to infinity, to look to the furthest point that you can possibly see. And it's quite interesting what you pick up as your eyes scan out to that point and scan back again. So if we look at this Q here on the dashboard, where it meets there, is roughly where I'm going to try and put the doors, so that passengers can get straight on without having to step in the road. Guten Tag. Gentleman's waiting for the other service. Doors are all closed. That bus is blocking the bus lane, so I can move out without any difficulty.
Leniner Platz, Schaubühne.
And stop on the right.
Hallo. Hallo. Guten Tag.
Notice how in OMSI the real-time display information really works, and that's in fact our bus due now. It's got a lorry's turning, the lights are green, Not sure when they're going to turn again, so I'll just cover the brakes. I've got a problem beyond the lights. Mirror. Signal.
Kurfürstendamm, Joachim-Friedrich-Straße.
When you're driving the X10 route, got a red light there. When you're driving the X10 route, you might sometimes wonder how you know which stop to stop at, because the X10, which is not this service, is an express that misses out a number of stops. And a useful trick there is to listen carefully to the announcements, because the announcements are only ever made just prior to the stop where you've got to stop. So if you can't remember where... Guten Tag. So if you're on the X10 and you can't remember where to stop, then just listen to the announcements carefully. So problem down here with a large part vehicle. I'm actually going to just slide across there, not going to indicate in case I confuse the red car, but I want to hold both of these lanes. I'm past the problem now, move back in.
S-Bahnhof Halensee.
Got a red light. And I know beyond here, we've got some cars indicating right here, so I've got to be a little bit careful to see where they're going to go. But they're trapped at the moment, so mirror, come in as hard as I can. Now I'm stopping beyond the lights. I've got a bus behind me, so I'm going to... Just nudge the curb there. You can't get away with anything in
Einmal
OMSI.
Schüler bitte.
Schüler bitte. Okie dokie. I think that's right.
Ein einfaches Tagesticket bitte. Gilt das so oder muss ich das entwerten?
That gives us 7. That gives us 10.
Hallo.
Hello. We're ready to roll. Doors closed. Mirror and signal. Lights changing. Keep an eye on this lad and the lady. Considered a horn there, but wasn't required. Don't go to the right hand side of that gentleman just in case he carried on into the bus lane, which I knew he wouldn't do because I know...
Rathenauplatz.
Well, the Rathenauplatz. I know how OMSI works, but... in fact, did we have anybody to come on here? Yes.
Moin.
Mine. Nobody to get off though. Off with the station brake. Mirror. Now I'm looking to go over to my far left hand lane when I can. I'll keep the signal on and monitoring my offside mirror. I'm happy with that. Keep an eye on the flow in traffic.
Rathenauplatz.
I'm happy to move across now one more lane. Keep an eye on this white car. For that very reason.
Bismarckplatz.
Obviously a tourist doesn't know where he's going. So we've got a green light here, happy. And a green light beyond that, but that could change on me. As in fact it has. I'm staying now to the offside because I'm going straight ahead and I've got parked vehicles beyond the lights. And also my near side lane is usually used for turning to the right there. So that's kind of the city centre part of this route. We have more residential areas now in the short section down to Rosneck. Had a request for the next stop, which I can see on my board. Let's try and actually not nudge the curb this time. So on this bus you can see people getting on from 2 different cameras as well, which is kind of cool. I'm happy with that. All the doors are closed. Parking brake off, mirror and signal. And just hold behind the red light. So the smaller red lights are clearly for cyclists, but they'll give us a hint that our main lights are going to change quickly after that. Like so. So in that situation I didn't apply the station brake, I applied the parking brake, which doesn't release the doors. Anyone for the stop?
Grünaustraße.
Strasse, nobody on, nobody off. Junction's clear, left and right, parked vehicles ahead. Offside mirror as I nudge out. I need to get the line here right, so I have to be quite close to the oncoming traffic. But I don't want to knock these door mirrors off either. So I've got red lights ahead. Just track this last car as I move in. And I've got a bus stop beyond that on the near side, of course. Keep an eye on all these pedestrians. Make sure they don't cross before I commit. Got the white cars back again. So an X10 behind me. Hello, sir. Yeah, I think it is. And why you can't get by, but hey ho. I've got 2 lanes here that are going to merge beyond the bend into one, so I'm actually going to move out to the centre now. Not going to inconvenience anybody.
Delbrückstraße.
There he goes. Good morning, sir. So again, when I apply the parking brake, you get the P indicator come on the dashboard there, and the H indicates that we have a request for the next stop. Releasing the parking brake. I've got a warning of traffic lights ahead in 80 metres. They're green at the moment, but they could change on me. There's a bus at the next vehicle, at the next stop rather. I'm just going to come in here fairly slowly because with a bit of luck he will vacate the stand as I come in. When I apply the station brake, the middle and rear doors can open. Just keep an eye on any passengers that have appeared for this bus. No. And what the more astute of you would have observed that I haven't observed is the speed limit, which changed down to 30 there. 30 kilometers per hour as opposed to the standard 50, which I totally ignored. This is a really, really awkward stand to come in on because of the way the curb goes. it's very, very easy to clip that curve if you don't kind of approach it at a really odd angle. Notice how the colour of the doors changes once they're closed. They go from black to that flashing symbol. So we're nearly finished. Just keep an eye on that green car, it's not going to be a problem. We need the middle lane here to get into our terminus. If we position ourselves correctly, then
Roseneck. Endhaltestelle. Sie können noch bis zur Betriebshaltestelle mitfahren.
we position ourselves correctly, there's no reason why traffic can't use both lanes to either side of us, which isn't going to be a problem because we're going straight over. If we were turning, then it would be. Okay, the last stop is beyond the reddish car. Apologies actually that this route hasn't really demonstrated very much to do with turning, although we're going to do one almighty turn in a moment. Okay, happy with that. But we did a lot of turning in Scunthorpe, so we've got to go right round here, so got to look behind us and in front, and actually everything is hunky-dory except we're not giving a signal. Now we are. You want the stand over here. There's kind of a flaw in this.
Endhaltestelle. Sie können noch bis zur Betriebshaltestelle mitfahren.
If I stop here, OMSI hasn't detected that the route's finished. You've actually got to kind of go up just to be on the starting point here. With a bit of luck. Yay! OMSI has indeed detected where we are. I'll put the vehicle in neutral, kill the engine, and if you have been, thank you for watching.